And the Braves, these two teams have split the first two games of the series, with the Braves winning last night. And hello, everybody. Happy Kentucky Derby Day. Justin Kutcher alongside CJ Nikowski. And CJ, it's kind of funny when you look at these two teams right now and how they're playing, the players they're relying on. For Cincinnati, a name that everybody's familiar with, Joey Votto. He's playing like the Joey Votto we know and we love.
Yeah, Joey Votto is back, and for the Reds, this is very much a welcome sign. Last year, he played in only 62 games. He had dealt with a quad strain, went on the DL 2 different times, and right now you can tell that he is healthy. The swings are powerful. He looks very comfortable. And how about this? A guy who's sometimes criticized for not swinging enough, he is swinging at 71% of the strikes that he sees. That is the same number that he swung at back in 2010 when he won an MVP.
And the results are pretty much the same. Look at the numbers overall. 7 home runs already, tied for second. RBIs tied for fourth, and the slugging is there as well. As far as the Atlanta Braves are concerned, so many changes. A new GM, John Hart, made a lot of trades. So they get a catcher who comes in, A.J. Pierzynski, who's so hot right now that his manager doesn't even want to talk about him.
Well, we'll talk about him because he deserves it. At 38 years old, he comes in, he signs a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Braves for $2 million. The plan was he was going to come in and basically back up Christian Bethancourt. He was going to kind of show him the ropes. He is their catcher of the future. All he's done is come and outplayed him. We thought he'd be here in the booth with us, but instead he's down on the field getting it done for the Atlanta Braves.
And getting it done, he is. A 13-game hitting streak. He has hit in every game in which he has played this year. The starting pitcher, Eric Stoltz, making his way out to the mound for the Braves. How would you like to be that little leaguer right there? Oh, my gosh. Talk about a dream come true.
Yeah, what a great moment. And what an interesting pitching matchup we have. Two pitchers that were born in the 70s. We don't get to see that anymore. It's fantastic.
It's almost extinct these days. Billy Hamilton, the leadoff hitter for the Cincinnati Reds. The lineup behind him, Zach Cozart will bat second and play short. Joey Votto, we just talked about, will bat third and play first. Todd Frazier will clean things up and play third base. Jay Bruce will bat fifth and play right field. At second base, batting sixth is Brandon Phillips. Marlon Byrd will bat seventh and play left. Brian Pena will do the catching. And Jason Marquis, a former first-round pick of these Atlanta Braves, will bat ninth and do the pitching. And they will face Eric Stoltz on the season. 1-1, a 4.03 ERA. 22 and a third innings, 20 hits, 6 walks, 13 strikeouts. And Stoltz is coming off a good game against Washington. 6 and a third, 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, and a guy who earned a spot in this rotation. And again, a lot of people looked at the Atlanta Braves and said, okay, once they started making those moves, they were going to go young, they were going to go heavy young. But no, Eric Stoltz, absolutely not, an older guy, which tells me that they want to compete. They're not just going to throw anybody in there. It's not a complete rebuild. They absolutely expect to compete this year.
And the guy he has to contend with right away is Billy Hamilton. And really, you got to keep this guy off the bases. The fastest guy in the major leagues. He is exciting if he gets on the base paths.
He is, and this is going to be really interesting because Billy Hamilton has done a very nice job against lefties, hitting .333 against him this year. A.J. Pierzynski, as much as we talked him up, has not thrown very many base runners out, just 1 for 13. So look out if Hamilton gets on base.
The corners are in. First pitch, Hamilton skies one to left center field. Cameron Maben goes over to his right, makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. The defense behind Stoltz in the outfield from left to right. Kelly Johnson, Cameron Maben, who just made that catch, and Nick Markakis in right. Around the horn in the infield, Freddie Freeman at first, Chase Peterson at second, Andrelton Simmons. Talk about exciting, watching him defensively. Alberto Callaspo at third, and A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate. And the first pitch misses to Cozart for ball 1. 1-0. In their first strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cozart's numbers this year off to a good start. 291, 4 home runs, and 10 RBIs. Hit the other way, slicing towards the line. That is a foul ball. 1-2 now, the count to Cozart.
You talk about him having a good offensive year. It's been a surprise. The 4 home runs, especially. Yes, Cincinnati is a very favorable place for home runs, but even for a guy like Zach Kozar, excuse me, to have 4. He had a couple of years we had 15 and 12, but he only hit 4 all of last year, and he's had 4 already this year.
His home run to at bat ratio much better this year than last year.
Safe to say.
Missing inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes from Stoltz to Kozar. On deck is Joey Votto. Ground ball shortstop. Simmons easily makes the play. 2 up, 2 down here in the first.
I almost feel like we got cheated that ground ball went right at him. I want to see Andrelton Simmons show off the range and the arm. He is the best defender for me of all shortstops in Major League Baseball.
I'm curious because you hear people the way they talk about him, whether it's Freddie Gonzalez or teammates or ex-teammates. They kind of put him in that light of an Omar Vizquel, of an Ozzie Smith, that good defensively.
And I think it's a fair comparison. He absolutely belongs there. A lot of times we have a tendency to, overanalyze things and put those kind of comparisons on guys that don't deserve them. Andrelton Simmons absolutely deserves that comp.
Joey Votto takes the first 2 pitches, almost identical for strikes, 0-2.
And you see Votto's reaction right there. I don't know if he necessarily agreed that one was a strike, and he might be right.
Stoltz is thinking, well, I got the call the first 2 times, might as well try it a 3rd time. And this time he misses, ball 1. And Votto has maybe the best eye at the plate of anybody in baseball. In the dirt, 2-2.
Yeah, what you don't see from Joey Votto very often is to see him chase pitches outside of the zone. He just doesn't do it. And sometimes, like I said in the open, he'll get a little criticized and people believe that or think that maybe he's too passive, but that is his game. And when he's healthy like he is right now, it absolutely works. He's one of the best in the game when he's going well.
The 2-2 from Stoltz. Breaking ball, he lays off, so he falls behind 0-2. He's worked the count full now, 3-2. He just looks different. He looks in great shape right now. 3-2, and he goes down swinging. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Stoltz. We're a half inning through, no score, and the Braves coming up. Bottom half of the first, no score. The Braves coming up. Nick Markakis will lead things off against Jason Marquis. And the first pitch fastball misses outside for ball 1. Markakis, the big free agent acquisition in the offseason for the Braves. Takes the pitch for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. And this team is trying to figure out who is going to be their leadoff hitter. And right now, Nick Markakis is the guy for that job. Fouls it back, 1-2.
You talk about him getting a long-term deal. The Braves gave him 4 years. This is a guy who spent his entire career with the Baltimore Orioles, but they were not willing to go 4 on him, and he was a little bit upset about it, and did not hide his feelings at all in spring training.
1-2, chopper to second. Brandon Phillips, talking about a guy who's fun to watch. He's fun to watch at second, 1 away. The rest of the lineup behind Markakis, Alberto Callaspo playing third base, followed by Freddie Freeman. A.J. Pierzynski will clean things up. Kelly Johnson bats 5th. Andrelton Simmons will bat 6th. Jace Peterson in the 7 hole. Cameron Maybin will bat 8th. And Stoltz, the pitcher, will bat 9th. 1 away for the switch hitting Callaspo. Takes that first pitch for a strike at 89.
And you're going to see a lot of that. We have, 6 lefties in the lineup tonight, 4 including a switch hitter for the Atlanta Braves. A lot of fastballs. The sinker is what Jason Marquis has been living on.
Callaspo lifts one towards the seats in left field. No balls and 2 strikes.
Brian Price had told us before the game that it's a true sinker, not just a fastball that kind of fades away, but a 2-seamer that actually has some legitimate sink to it. He's throwing that pitch about 60% of the time this year.
Missing outside with the off-speed pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Been working on that split change. That's some guys' feature this day and age.
It's a good pitch too when you get a little bit older. Sometimes we call it a fosh, but it's a hybrid between a split and a changeup. And there it was right there. And you see it just kind of fall below the zone. Ideally, when you're throwing it well, that one was a strike to a ball, finishes a ball. But guys are swinging at it. They're making contact and they're hitting ground balls for you.
Well, the 2-2 to Callaspo. High and outside. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Freddie Freeman on deck. And the payoff pitch rolled over first base. There's Votto. He'll take to the bag himself. 2 away. How about tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Ford?
Well, first let's start off with the Cincinnati Reds. The key for them is going to be defense. For Jason Marquis, we talk about him being a contact guy. Yes, there's been some strikeouts, but he goes right at guys. And in order to be able to defend for them, they got to play good defense. It's going to be a big part of what happens tonight for the Cincinnati Reds. And for the Atlanta Braves, get to him early. Marquis has actually struggled in the first 3 innings. His ERA is at an even 9 through the first 3. So if you can get to that Cincinnati bullpen, which has also struggled, that'd be a nice key for the Braves.
Marquis has struggled that first time through the order, which makes sense to go along with the ERA. As Freeman is ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Freddie Freeman been swinging a hot bat as of late. 11 for his last 23 over his last 6 games. Has raised that average from 219 to now 287. And he's ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. And I don't know about you, but I know there are a lot of tall players in baseball, but I don't know if anyone looks taller at the plate than Freeman.
He's pretty big, and you're absolutely right. It does seem like guys are getting taller and taller. I even feel like it now when I go down to the field.
3-0, 1 hopper to second. Phillips handles it easily. A 1-2-3 inning for Jason Marquis. We're through 1. No score, the Reds and the Braves. all get along. Broken bat. Foul ball for Todd Frazier. Braves fans, Reds fans, arm around each other. Does that really work?
For now. For at least for that moment, for that shot. We'll see how the night finishes out. But it's not as bad. It's not like there's this deep-seated rivalry. This isn't a Red Sox-Yankees type of thing. So maybe they can make it work at all.
And now the Braves defense will shift with Todd Frazier at the plate and 1 strike on him. Frazier 1 for 9 this series with 5 strikeouts. In there, falls behind 0-2. His 1 hit, a home run. That came in the opener on Thursday night. 0-2 is fisted foul. The Reds won the opener 5-1 on Thursday. The Braves took last night's game by the score of 4-3. Brian Price looking for some offense from this team. You go up and down the team and the batting averages. Kind of scary.
It's been pretty unbelievable when you look at them. And real quickly for me, watching the way that Eric Stoltz is now pitching to Todd Frazier, he's pounded him in early, trying to get him to hit the ball into the shift, as he does right there.
You mean like that? Kayasbo, low throw, dug out by Freeman, 1 away. This Reds offense, talk about struggling. Batting average, their second worst batting average in April at .224. They rely so much on the home run. 53% of their runs have been scored via the home run, and they had 4 home runs in that opening win on Thursday night.
It's not a place that you want to be in 2015. I've played on teams where we've been near the top. During the home run era, it's a little bit different,
right?
But you just don't get nearly as many home runs. That you don't want to become reliant on. It's very difficult. Freddie Gonzalez was talking about that with us before the game, how they were kind of like that last year, and it's nice to not have to be that team where you can actually manage and play baseball and work hit and runs, as opposed to just being dependent on the long ball.
And that was a big change with John Hart taking over for Frank Wren. In this Atlanta Braves philosophy is get away from the home run, get away from the strikeout. Let's actually try to get guys on base, move them over, hit and run, bunts, whatever it may be, but play National League style baseball.
Yeah, which they should be doing, because they're a National League team, and to eliminate that many swings and misses in just a matter of a year is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah. 2 balls and 2 strikes here, the count to Bruce. He's one of those guys. You look at his average, 173, 5 home runs, 13 RBIs.
Surprisingly better against lefties this year than righties.
In the air, left field, Kelly Johnson now moves over and battles. I don't know if there's much wind up there, but
he caught that like
being an outfielder.
He caught that like a former infielder, which is where he is much more comfortable playing in the infield. As a pitcher, you start to get a little nervous at the end there when you see that movement. But ultimately, he gets it done. And a good job by Kelly Johnson. Right here, everything looks to be fine, and then just a little nerve-wracking when you see him going backwards. Ideally, as an outfielder, you're coming in on the ball as you're catching it.
2 away now for Brandon Phillips, the Stone Mountain, Georgia native. Missed Thursday night's game with the flu. Takes the first pitch changeup or off-speed pitch at 67 miles per hour for a strike.
Yeah, that's one of the probably more interesting pitches that Stoltz features, is that very, very slow curveball, and it sits right there. I mean, it doesn't get much faster. You're going to see a lot of that when you see him throwing that curveball. The speed on it in the upper 60s. You don't see that too often.
In Little League. Fisted towards the outfield, coming in, playing it on a couple of hops is Markakis, the first hit of the game for the Reds. His little bloop single for Brandon Phillips.
And a well executed pitch here by Stoltz, as you see, fast up and in fastball, exactly where AJ Przinsky wanted it. That's exactly where he threw it. Brandon Phillips did a good job of keeping his hands in just enough. He didn't get the barrel to it, but he kept them in just enough to serve it into right field.
So 2 away, runner on at first now for Marlon Byrd. Marlon Byrd, a guy who's struggling offensively, 163, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. And last night, this Reds team was taking advantage of the stolen base. Let's see what they do here tonight. And the first pitch fastball misses outside for ball 1.
The Reds have been very proficient this year as far as base stealing goes. 28 of 29. Caught just one time, and that was, of all people, Billy Hamilton is the one who's been caught this year.
Back up the middle, base hit. Phillips takes the turn at second. He's going to go for 3. He'll get there. First and third, 2 outs on back-to-back singles by Marlon Byrd and Brendan Phillips.
Brandon Phillips is able to go to second base on this because the ball is just not hit very hard. And that's something that ultimately worked to the advantage. You see another fastball in here. Marlon Byrd did not hit it very hard. That ball just kind of dies as Cameron Maybin comes up to field it. Absolutely no play at third, especially with 2 outs.
2 outs, runners on the corners. Yeah. Freddie Freeman saying, you got all of that one. I would ask you what the conversation was like over at first base, but I don't know how many times.
Twice. I'm glad you asked. I love bringing it up. Twice. 19 years that I played this game, I was over there twice.
Brian Pena digs in, takes the first pitch in there for a strike. Pena, the catcher, 304, no home runs and 2 RBIs. All right, so who was the first baseman those 2 times you got on?
That's a good question. I would have to remember that. So there was the Dodgers. Is there any chance it was our boy
Could have been Karros?
I have to go back and look, actually. It's very possible. It was against Ramon Martinez, 1995 at Old Riverfront Stadium. I got a base hit with Deion Sanders' bat that he gave me. I was 0 for 6. It was terrible. He said, you need to try this bat. I used it. I broke it. But I got a base hit.
You got a base hit.
Stood on first base. I wonder if that was EK. We'll have to find that out.
The 1-1. Fouled back, 1-2.
But I can tell you this, I was a rookie, so I wasn't talking to anybody. I was just happy to be there.
Well, our sources have confirmed it was, in fact, Eric Karros. So last year when you guys were in studio together, it wasn't the first time you'd ever worked together.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I did not realize that. I definitely talked to him much more than I did that day at first base.
Throw back over to first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count here to Pena. Top of the second. No score, Reds and Braves. Game 3 of this 4-game series. Justin Kutcher alongside C.J. Nitkowski. Phillips on at third. Byrd on at first. After back-to-back singles. The 1-2. Right back to Stoltz. He'll toss to first, and that'll do it. No runs on 2 hits. 2 men left on. Still scoreless here in Atlanta. T-Mobile, the official sponsor of Game Changer, is A.J. Pierzynski, and the numbers he's put up so far this year. His first year with the Braves, a .408 average. He's opened his Braves career with a 13-game hitting streak. And he's going so well, as we said in the open, Freddie Gonzalez doesn't even want to talk about it. You say A.J. Pierzynski, he goes next.
I got to think part of that has to do with A.J. probably pestering him to be in the lineup every day.
1 ball, no strikes to Pierzynski. 3 home runs, 14 RBIs to go along with that .408 batting average. On the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Like you pointed out earlier, Jerry Lane, I'm going to say he's been generous, but he's calling that ball just on the corner or just off, and you see Jason Marquis trying to go out there again. You might as well take advantage of it.
2 balls and 1 strike. Jerry Lane behind the plate. Sharon Barber at first, Bob Davidson at second, and David Rackley at third. Inside now, 3 balls and 1 strike. The 3-1. Ground ball second. The backhand by Phillips has plenty of time. Brandon Phillips already with 3 chances here in the first 4 batters. The defense behind Marquis in the outfield from left to right. Marlon Byrd. Billy Hamilton chased on a couple of balls last night. Jay Bruce in right field at first base. Joey Votto, Phillips at second. Zach Cozart at short. Todd Frazier at third. And behind the plate is Brian Pena. Kelly Johnson steps in, and he takes the first pitch low and inside for ball 1. Johnson had the big hit last night, the 2-run home run that gave Atlanta the 4-3 lead and ultimately the win. This one right back at Marquis, knocks it down, makes the play, and it looks like he's all right. Wow.
Well, I think he caught a break, and we'll get a better look at it, but it looked like he was able to turn and catch this kind of with the big part of his body as we watch a replay. Ah, maybe not. Looks like might have got him in the back of the tricep. On his throwing arm. Let's see him turn here.
It looked like maybe on the forearm area.
And as a pitcher, when this happens, you don't really feel anything right away. You know, to be honest with you, I've been hit more times than I'm trying to admit. But right, your first thought is, where's the ball? Can I get it out? And any kind of pain that may be coming, you don't feel it right away. It takes a little while for it to sink in. But if it is his forearm, the one thing to keep an eye on right now is whether or not he can grip the ball with the same kind of intensity that he is when he's pitching. He's smiling about it, so it looks like he's fine.
Brian Price was looking on Marquis. A couple of warm-up tosses. He says, I'm good.
Oh, yeah, right there on the top of the forearm.
It looks like his glove may have helped out a little bit.
Sure, absolutely. Anything to slow it down certainly helps. When the ball's coming off the bat as hard as it was right there from Kelly Johnson.
2 away now for Andrelton Simmons. This may sound crazy, but is there ever, after you get hit as a pitcher, that I'm not going to say that fear, but a little bit of nervousness, being gun shy, throwing the next pitch or whatever to the hitter?
Oh, absolutely. I think that every pitcher goes through that to some degree, and then you talk yourself through it. Because if you are tentative at all, if you try to feel for pitches or you're concerned about a ball coming back at you, you're just not going to be the same guy. And then you really run the risk of getting it around.
He's fallen behind Simmons, 3 balls and no strikes. 4th 3-ball count in the first 6 batters for Marquis, and now he walks Andrelton Simmons on 4 straight pitches after getting hit on that forearm by Kelly Johnson. Well, follow your favorite team and players all season with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat now. Jace Peterson steps in. First pitch is in the dirt. That's 5 straight balls thrown by Marquis after getting hit with a ball.
And here's what you know about Jason Marquis, is that he wants to stay in this game and he's going to try to battle through it. So even if he's feeling a little bit of something and maybe it's affecting these 5 pitches that we've seen since he's gotten hit, he's not going to lead on and let Brian Price know it.
In their first strike, 1-1. One thing Brian Price said about Marquis was durability. He was so impressed with how he responded during spring training through 31 innings in the spring. Missing outside with the off-speed pitch. 2-1.
I think that's something that the Reds definitely needed to see from him, coming back from Tommy John surgery at his age, at 36 years old. To see what was there, and certainly durability and strength, his ability to throw sinker after sinker like he is, and to do it effectively, is something they had to see before they could put him on this team.
Ground ball, left side. Frazier makes the play, and that'll do it here in the second. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on through 2. Scoreless game. Top of the third, no score. Jason Marquis will lead things off against Eric Stoltz. And the first pitch misses up high for ball 1. Marquis got hit on the arm elbow. You can see he's got a guard on right now, although he is a righty pitcher hitting lefty. But this is, you can see the welts right there on the forearm.
Yeah, right on the top of the forearm. And like I said, you kind of thought that we'd probably see some black and blue, and we have.
A ground ball to second. Easy play for Peterson. 1 away here in the third. Back to the top of the order now for Billy Hamilton. Great night for baseball here in Atlanta. Great weekend, really, with the weather here.
Yeah, it's been gorgeous, and for me, good to be home in Atlanta. This is where I make my full-time home, but this is the nice time of year. It doesn't always stay like this. It's going to get a little warmer here in Atlanta, but right now it's beautiful.
There's a reason why it's nicknamed Hotlanta. The corners are in for Hamilton. And he takes the first pitch for a strike. Freeman at first, Callaspo at third. One ball and one strike.
Billy Hamilton is a very interesting case because he has the great speed, but he has struggled to get on base at the rate that you would like to see a leadoff hitter do it.
Outside 2-1.
We talked to Brian Price about that before the game, and he said he felt like he owed it to him to give him that opportunity to establish himself as a major league hitter in the one hole.
In the air to center field, Cameron Maybin backs up a couple steps, makes the catch, 2 away. And that's the question that everyone has had about Billy Hamilton since he was in the minors and stealing over 100 bases. People were wondering, could he hit? Could he get on base enough to be that everyday big league player? Because if he's on base, there's not a scarier player on the base paths in baseball.
No, you're absolutely right. That game against John Lester, where he stole 3 bases in his first 2 at bats, was pretty unbelievable. But you're right. He's got to stop hitting the ball in the air, and that's been one of the issues, and they're trying to get him and get that swing leveled out a little more, and we've seen it in his first 2 at bats tonight where he's hit fly balls to center field. So when you have those great wheels, ideally you're hitting more line drives, you're hitting more ground balls, and you're using that speed to your advantage.
I mean, it reminds me so much of Major League and Willie Mays Hayes.
No push-ups here in the big leagues.
Cozart gets into one to left center field. Kelly Johnson on the run will make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning work for Stultz. Still no score here in Atlanta. Eight, 9-1 due up for the Braves here in the third. Cameron Maybin takes the first pitch fastball low and outside from Jason Marquis. Maybin getting the start out in center field tonight, batting .175 on the season. Ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes.
And I think it's reasonable to wonder a little bit for Marquis. That forearm will start to tighten up a little bit. You know, almost start to get a little bit of a nod after he's taken that line drive off of his pitching hand. Excuse me, his pitching forearm.
2 balls and a strike. Fouled back. 2-2 here to Maybin. Cameron Maybin was a first-round pick of the Detroit Tigers. Was actually part of the deal that sent him, Andrew Miller, to Florida to get Miguel Cabrera. Pop foul, first base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
One of the many great Dave Dombrowski trades. He's been on a pretty incredible run. A lot of Tiger fans will let you know about the Doug Fister trade. They didn't love that one so much, sending him to Washington. But other than that, Dave Dombrowski's been fantastic in the trade market.
Down low, 3-2. You think about Dombrowski, what he's done in the offseason with trades. And then you look at what has transpired over in San Francisco. Missing inside, ball 4, so a leadoff walk to Maben. And Brian Sabean, what he's done there as far as in-season trades, making trades for the deadline, I don't know if there's been a better GM than Sabean.
I would agree, and they've really hit it, and obviously it's paid off with what they've accomplished with their 3 World Series in 5 years. And it's not an easy thing to do, and sometimes it takes a little courage. You do your homework, you trust your scouts, but ultimately you have to make that final call, and they don't all work out. But when you get on a nice run, you certainly get recognized.
Stoltz squint around the sacrifice bunt. Votto will make the play. Phillips covering at first. Sacrifice 3-4. Down to second base goes Maben. MLS Soccer Sunday returns tomorrow as Mixed Discarud and New York City FC take on Clint Dempsey and the Seattle Sounders at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1, sponsored by Audi. That was the baseball promo you saw. That was coming up for next week.
That's right.
But don't forget about MLS coming up tomorrow. We've got a lot of stuff going on.
Watch it all. Good live events going on Fox Sports 1.
One away, runner in scoring position now for Nick Markakis. And the fastball is outside for ball 1. Grounded out to second his first time up. On the outside corner, 1-1 again. Jerry Lane likes that spot.
And Markakis will say something, because that pitch for me is probably just off. I mean, you love the call as a pitcher, but Markakis will say something to be polite about it, and hopefully getting Jerry Lane to think twice about calling that pitch as the game goes on.
Again, Marquis going right there, just missing this time off the edge, and it's 2-1. Markakis, good numbers with runners in scoring position this season. The Braves as a team have good numbers with runners in scoring position this season. And 2-1. Ground ball. Phillips. It's like a vacuum over there. Makes the play. Down to third base goes Maben. But as far as the Braves are concerned, with runners in scoring position this year coming into this game, they're hitting .319. Last year they hit .236.
And what a difference maker that is when you start looking at runs scored for this team. 98 for the Braves on the year. That puts them 6th in the National League. That .319 number that you mentioned, that's 3rd best in Major League Baseball. That is a big number to be hitting with runners in scoring position.
An opportunity right now for the Braves with Callaspo at the plate, trying to get this runner in from third. 2 outs, bottom half of the third. All 8 outs for Jason Marquis have come via the ground out. In there for a strike. So in other words, I guess Brian Price wasn't lying to us when he said he's got a really good sinker.
When you throw a good sinker, one of the most difficult things to do as a hitter is to get under the ball and get some lift on it. And what you're seeing and what you see more often than not is guys with the top half of that ball and hit it right into the ground on a well-located sinker.
Outside, 2-1. And Marquis, of course, spent time in St. Louis. Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, seemed like he taught everybody who came through his system the sinker.
And it's not an automatic, because you can teach somebody it all day long, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be able to get the run or the sink that you're looking for.
Shot foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Alberto Callaspo.
A lot of that has to do with your arm slot, your ability to work finger pressure. I was not very good. I had a good sinker, but I was not very good at working the finger pressure. A lot of guys can manipulate the ball on their own. Some guys just get lucky because the arm slot works for them. Brian Price had talked about that, and really just the depth of it too. I mean, that's the one thing. Get the ball to go down from a sinker is very difficult. A lot of guys get a natural arm side run, but to get some downward movement is tough.
2-2 called strike 3 as Callaspo spun away. So Marquis gets around that leadoff walk. We played here at Turner Field. Still scoreless, Reds and Braves. 3-4-5 for the Reds here in the fourth. Joey Votto takes the first pitch from Eric Stoltz. First strike. Votto struck out his first time up. The numbers last year to this year, you can just tell again that he's healthy.
And I think it's the comfort as well, not just the numbers there. Obviously, we're seeing the power, but when you lose your lower body as a hitter, you lose your ability to really drive the baseball. And he looks much more comfortable. It was a quad strain that he dealt with last year, played in just 62 games, 2 stints on the DL. He has his legs under him now, and we're seeing, like you said, in the open, the old Joey Votto.
The 1-2 from Stoltz. And Votto grounds one to the right side, takes a funny hop. Peterson able to make the play from the outfield grass. One away.
And we see right here, I mean, Joey Votto just frustrated. I think he's frustrated with a couple of calls that he's gotten tonight. And then to be put in that position with 2 strikes and roll over that pitch. Joey Votto is a competitor. Like I said, sometimes he is criticized maybe for appearing to be a little bit too passive, but this guy wants to win and he wants to do well, and it's been a good start to the season, but so far through 2 at-bats, he's not loving what's going on.
Todd Frazier steps in, fouls one back. 0-1. Frazier ground out to third his first time up. As they put the shift on him, they do it again with 3 players on the left side of the infield. Frazier's 3 for his last 23. All 3 of those hits have been home runs. Fouls one off again. 0-2.
I really like Todd Frazier a lot. He's one of my favorite players in the big leagues to watch. He's got a little bit of an old school kind of mentality to him. Plays really hard. Did get a 2-year contract extension this past offseason from the Reds at 29 years old. And for me, really kind of the heart and soul of this team. One of the more outward vocal guys. There's not a lot of them on this team, but he's one of them.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Here to Frazier. And he chases one outside. The second strikeout for Eric Stoltz. 2 outs here in the fourth.
And that right there for me was a swing of a hitter. A little bit frustrated and maybe guessing. Might have been a changeup away. Good move. And you see how the ball just kind of dies and fades away at the end. And really, that pitch was probably never a strike coming out of Stoltz's hands. But because we're getting a little bit of a wider strike zone, guys feel like they need to protect the outside.
Jay Bruce takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Bruce flew out to left field his first time up. It's funny, you watch the lefty and Stoltz on the mound wearing a Braves uniform, a little bit of a wider strike zone. You start thinking about Tom Glavine.
There are a lot of hitters from the 90s that are having flashbacks that are watching this game.
Spins one in there. 2-1.
Boy, just a master Tom Glavine was at commanding the outside part of the plate. When I first got to the big leagues, he was the guy that I was told to watch and pay attention to, and how he got hitters out. Just unbelievable command. He walked hitters, right? It wasn't that he had command in the sense that he didn't walk a lot of hitters. His walk rate was actually pretty high, but he had really good command of the outside part of the zone, and he popped right-handed hitters in just enough to keep them honest. And yes, as much as none of them like hearing it, they did get a couple of extra inches outside. Smoltz is like, I never got it. He absolutely got it. But those guys were good in their own right, not to take anything away.
Fouled off. So what are you saying? Like Michael Jordan got some calls in basketball, these guys got some calls from umpires?
I think it's very fair to say there was no Quez-Tech back then, and luckily for Braves pitchers of the 90s, that's probably a good thing.
Another 2-2 from Stoltz. Another foul ball. Let me ask you this. I know there's 2 strikes and 2 outs. If you had to win one game, Glavine, Smoltz, or Maddox, who do you take?
I'll take John Smoltz. Now, he's the only one of the 3 that I played with, but it's because of the plus stuff. It's because he's a Fox guy. All of those reasons, I'll take John Smoltz.
Hit well to left field. Johnson going back. Johnson over his head. Bruce into second, thinking about 3. He's going to take a shot. Mayben's throw. Not in time. A triple for Jay Bruce. And that's where the inexperience of Kelly Johnson in the outfield comes into play.
Well, first and foremost, this ball is smoked by Jay Bruce. He takes a fastball up and away and drives it the other way really well. And this is a big ballpark, and we talked about it earlier. Kelly Johnson is a former infielder. He has played 150 games in the outfield in his career. but he has been predominantly an infielder. But how about Jay Bruce as well? It was a great read on this ball. Thought it was kind of risky going to third with 2 outs. You're taught not to do that unless you know you absolutely have it. He actually looked like he turned it on a little bit between second and third and showed some good speed. So a very nice read and a very nice at bat for Jay Bruce.
So the first triple of the year for Bruce, and now Brandon Phillips fouls the first one back. Phillips singled his first time up. He came through with a 2-run single in last night's first inning.
You talked about how good the Braves are with runners in scoring position. Here's an opportunity for the Cincinnati Reds. They are batting 192 with runners in scoring position this year. That's 29th in Major League Baseball.
No balls and 2 strikes. A big spot right now for Stoltz. The 0-2. Ground ball. Simmons in the hole, can't handle it. Bruce will score, and Phillips is safe at first. It'll be a base hit RBI single for Brandon Phillips.
I think Eric Stoltz will be the first to tell you that is not exactly what he wanted to do on that 0-2 pitch. He got it in, but not in far enough in this situation. And Brandon Phillips gets the bat on it. And we thought we were about to see Andrelton Simmons make a fantastic play. And that's what it would have taken for him to get Brandon Phillips out. But he caught that ball in the heel of his glove just a little bit, was unable to field it cleanly, and then actually slipped right afterwards. So we did not get to see the magic of Andrelton Simmons on that play.
Instead, an RBI infield single for Phillips. 1-0 Reds on top, and Marlon Byrd steps in. And there is that slow curveball at 66 miles per hour. 1 ball and no strikes to Byrd, who singled his first time up. A throw back over. Phillips 2 for 2 in stolen bases on the season.
And this gets interesting because you have the left-handed pitcher who should have an advantage because he can see the runner. But you also have A.J. Pierzynski, who has really struggled, just 1 for 13 throwing at runners this year.
2 balls and no strikes to Byrd.
Talked to Marlon Byrd before the game. He and I played together years ago back in New Orleans. I want to say 10 years ago, 2005. He said, "How you doing?" I said, "Just trying to make a living at this game." He goes, "Yeah, me too." He's doing all right for himself.
He is doing all right. 2-1 to Byrd.
Super guy, super teammate, well respected.
But he's not America's teammate, right?
That's Chris Myers, my studio host, loves calling me America's favorite former teammate.
The runner's off. The throw down by Pierzynski. Not in time. Stolen base for Brandon Phillips, his 3rd.
And a pretty good jump by Brandon Phillips, and a pretty good, actually a very good jump, and a pretty decent throw to handle, but it was the jump ultimately that probably got him there with the oven mitt. If it's on the money, they probably have.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Byrd. Runner now in scoring position with 2 outs. Up high, now 3-2.
And you want to be careful here. As much as Marlon Byrd has struggled hitting just 163 on the year, he is hitting better against lefties, or I guess he's 173 now, but 250 coming into this game against left-handers. Much more comfortable against the lefties.
The payoff pitch. Missing inside, ball 4. The first walk of the game issued by Stoltz. First and second 2 outs now for Brian Pena. Marlon Byrd, 3 walks in his last 8 plate appearances.
That's some good news. And you talk about a guy that's trying to get it started and get it turned around and comes into this game with a sub 200 on base percentage. The fact that he's seeing the ball well and taking pitches, always a good sign.
First pitch changeup missing to Pena outside. And those 3 walks for Marlon Byrd, it's a good sign, as you were saying. He had no walks in the first 20 games. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. Brandon Phillips on at second. Had the RBI infield single. Marlon Byrd just worked the walk. And now Brian Pena. He'll hit one back to Stoltz his first time up. Takes the pitch down low. Now 2-1.
You've seen some of Eric Stoltz's location kind of evade him here, not just because of the walk, but also some pitches that he's missed in the zone. The triple to Jay Bruce was a ball that was left up. We're seeing some changeups now fall out of the zone. And some of those pitches to Byrd not exactly going where he'd like them to right now.
28th pitch of the inning coming right now. A flare to center field. Maben coming in, won't get there. Phillips is going to score easily, and it's 2-0 Cincinnati. RBI single for Brian Pena.
Outside of the Jay Bruce hit, we really haven't seen a lot of hard contact, despite the fact now that we've seen 5 hits off of Stoltz. And that's what happens sometimes when you have soft tossing lefties that use their off speed stuff a lot. You are going to see a lot of base hits necessarily that aren't squared up in the barrel, and that's what we've seen for a lot of tonight so far.
He's made a lot of good pitches.
He has.
I'd have to think this has to be one of the more frustrating type of games if you're a pitcher, because like you said, there's been 1 ball hit hard. Everything else is off the hands and just finding a hole.
Yeah, and the Reds in a couple of innings now have done a good job of putting some pressure on the defense, putting the ball in play, and making things happen.
Jason Marquis, first pitch, grounds one a second. Peterson retires him, and that'll do it here in the inning. But 2 runs on 3 hits for the Reds as they now lead 2-0 in the middle of the 4th. One returns with a doubleheader. Division rivalries. The Royals taking on the Tigers. Then these Braves square off against the Nationals. Coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. We'll be up there in D.C. for that game.
Can't wait. My first one in that ballpark. I've heard the press box is pretty high.
Bring your binoculars. And a jacket. You're above the lights. Could be cold.
Oh, my goodness. That's hard to believe that's the way they designed that place.
Freddie Freeman will lead things off here in the fourth. The Braves trailing now 2-0. Freeman grounded out to second his first time up. And the first pitch fastball is outside for ball one. Two balls and no strikes.
Well, it becomes interesting for me with this matchup. We've been talking about the Marquee sinker and how good it is, but Freddie Freeman is one of the best at driving the ball the other way and doing it with power. And if Marquee makes a mistake with the fastball away, maybe doesn't get great sink, he could drive it out of here.
Tries to go the other way and fouls it back. 2-1. With all the trades that the Braves have made during the offseason, the 2-1. It is no secret that Freeman is now the cornerstone of this franchise.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought, okay, they're making moves, and they're going completely in a rebuild. And you stop and you look and you say, well, Freddie Freeman is here. Freddie Freeman is a very good Major League Baseball player. Anderson Simmons is here. Markakis is here. There are pieces of quality veteran players, guys that have been around that can absolutely contribute to winner. I think that's why they were able to realize some of that early success.
2-2 again, rolled over to second. Phillips is there. One away here in the fourth.
Surprised at how much we've seen Freddie Freeman roll over swing so far in 2 at-bats, knowing that that ball's running away with that good sink. A lot of ground balls. What is that? 5 ground balls to second base that we've seen in this game so far.
And you don't want to hit the ball to Brandon Phillips.
Pick
He's
somebody
a really
else.
good second baseman.
You really don't want to hit it to anybody in this infield. This is a very good defensive infield, but you're absolutely right. Brandon Phillips is so much fun to watch play second base.
By the way, we just saw that baby first Braves game. I want you to have a sign next week, your first game at Nationals Park.
Will you guys put me on TV?
I think we will.
That'd be awesome.
A flare to left field. Bird coming in. Bird lays out. And he makes the catch. What a great catch by Marlon Byrd.
I have to be honest with you, I thought for sure that one was getting down and Marlon Byrd having a little bit of fun with it. But a lot of times when you see that big swing as a left fielder from a left-handed hitter, you're going to take a step back and you're actually going to pause for a second. This ball was not hit very hard at all and continued to die. But Marlon Byrd showing very good speed and good extension right there. That looks fun, doesn't it?
2 away, and the first pitch to Kelly Johnson is in their first strike.
Look at the old timer. He's still got a little something left in him.
Off speed pitch again. No balls and 2 strikes to Johnson. The 0-2. Missing inside. 1-2.
That was the first flyout of this game for Jason Marquis. Everything has been on the ground and the one strikeout. Very difficult to lift that good sinker when he's throwing it as well.
Just misses off the plate. 2-2. It was Kelly Johnson in his first at bat who lined one off the forearm of Marquis. Marquis obviously has been able to stay in the game. 2-2 off speed pitch misses outside. Now the count is full.
Now, interesting that you saw that as he started his windup and stepped off, and you wonder a little bit if maybe he wanted this ball in a different spot. He did. He wanted it in.
Great off speed pitch, and he gets Johnson swinging. Strikeout number 2 for Jason Marquis. That's now 18 straight Braves retired going back to last night. Justin Kutcher alongside C.J. Nitkowski. 2-0 Reds on top. Billy Hamilton first pitch, ground ball to third. Alberto Callaspo gets rid of it quickly. 1 pitch, 1 out. Who are the 4 players who best represent the history of your favorite franchise? Go to MLB.com/franchise4 to cast your ballots. Winners will be revealed during the All-Star Game July 14th on Fox.
It is a fun debate.
I love it.
All right. Without looking, is Derek Jeter in your franchise for the Yankees? Not automatic for you.
No,
all right.
not even close.
Nice. Not even close.
No.
Not even close. He's close, dude.
No, he's not.
He's not in it, but he's close. He's not even in the conversation. Wow.
Up the middle for Cozart, past Simmons, and a 1-out single for Zach Cozart. And trust me, I grew up watching and rooting for Derek Jeter.
Here's Cozart doing a good job of taking a pitch that's away a little bit up, hitting it hard enough to get it past Simmons, which is not an easy thing to do. But it's interesting to me right there. You watch that. Simmons is shaded a little bit in the hole, but you have a left-handed pitcher trying to pitch him away. If anything, I'd want my shortstop cheating up the middle a little bit, knowing that's probably the only place that he's going to be able to hit the ball hard.
Now Joey Votto will dig in. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out to second. And the fastball misses low and outside for ball 1.
And now for Joey Votto, as good of a year as he is having. 3rd time around here facing Stoltz. He showed some frustration in his first couple of at-bats, but he's seen a pretty good amount of pitches. He has the information that he needs to try to come through with a big hit.
Outside again, 2-0, and those were pitches in the first 2 at-bats that Votto was upset about. Again, because home plate umpire Jerry Lane was calling those pitches for strikes. And you saw Votto his last time when he grounded out to second. He hit his bat, threw it down on the ground in frustration. Well, now he's ahead in the count, 2-0.
We talked about it earlier too, even with Markakis, when you want to say something to the umpire in these kind of situations, it makes no sense to turn around and yell and be angry. You're not going to get anywhere. But if you use your language the right way and come across and say, wasn't that kind of close? I thought I had it down. Those kinds of things, ultimately you may end up getting those calls later. I think that's what we saw in those first 2 pitches.
Now 3 balls and no strikes for Votto. I mean, I think you green light him here.
I would. You trust Joey Votto. I mean, his pitch selection is as good as anybody's. And he's making great contact when he's swinging at strikes. So for me, he probably has the freedom to do that almost whenever he wants.
He is green lighted. Gets one past the diving Peterson. Stopping at second base is Cozart. So back-to-back singles by Cozart and Votto. First and second, 1 out here in the 5th.
And this is where baseball becomes a funny game, because we look at it and say Joey Votto did a great job, 3-0. But if this ball is 2-3 feet to the left, it's probably a double play. And it looks like a really bad play. But he hit it hard enough to get it to the infield.
Votto now 1 for 3. And Todd Frazier steps in, who's 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout. And we're going to talk more about this. The 4 players for each franchise.
Well, just so you know, I had him out. We did it on our pregame show a couple of weeks ago leading up to the Yankee game, and I did not have Derek Jeter in my top 4, which, as you can imagine, upset a lot of new generation Yankee
during
fans.
that game. You know, when you think about Seinfeld, he doesn't go Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, Jeter, then Costanza.
No.
High and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. But I mean, how about the 4 for the Braves?
You haven't dug in on the Braves yet, but there's obviously a ton of history here.
It's not easy because you're leaving out some special people. Foul back, 1-1.
Yeah, the Braves Hall of Fame is not an empty one. So there's the top 8.
So obviously you got to go Hank Aaron.
Obviously, I think Warren
Spahn,
Spahn.
Matthews.
Oof.
It's hard.
the thing about it, so there'll probably be some disappointing votes because it's obviously going to be this generation of fans and this generation of Braves fans. I think even with the Yankee stuff, you're going to run into that same exact situation. Well, that's a tough one there. I got to take a closer look. I got to dig in.
If that's the case, I feel like Major League Baseball should step in and say you're wrong. Frazier in the air to center field. Maben is under it, tagging. Cozart just draws the throw. 2 away.
Well, I think if Major League Baseball could chime in on things that they leave other people to do, we'd have them chiming in on the Hall of Fame and maybe with some of the things that have been going on over there. So I don't know. I know you're a huge WAR guy. I know you love wins above replacement, but if you look at the Braves from that standpoint, Kid Nichols is second. He's not even in the top 10 list. Second in all-time WAR for the Braves.
Which is exactly my point.
We got to take a closer look at Kid Nichols' defensive metrics before we can make our decision.
Bruce fouls it back. Jay Bruce tripled his last time up over the glove of Kelly Johnson in left field. Came around to score. One ball and one strike. The Braves one is really, really hard.
In a different kind of way, so is the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well,
those get a little tricky.
1-2.
Carlos Pena going in. So this is why you can't compare generation to generation. As we look at Kid Nichols and his 562 games started, 532 of those are complete games. How's your elbow? No Tommy John surgery for Kid Nichols with his 361 wins.
We're having some technical issues here with the video board at Turner Field.
It's a poltergeist moment.
Now that would be a distracting batter's eye.
Yes, it would. And that's why there was a pause. Jay Bruce did not want to see that in center field while he was hitting.
1 ball and 2 strikes here to Bruce. Trying to come through here, the runner in scoring position. Zach Cozart at second, Votto at first. 2-0, Reds on top of the 5th inning.
Jerry Lane right there just stepping out and confirming the count. A lot of times as a pitcher, and you shouldn't do this, and hitters too, but you get reliant on the scoreboard.
The runner's bluffed. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Not you and me.
No.
We don't rely on the scoreboard. We just know it.
We just rely on our own scoreboard. The Fox Box. 2-2 to right center field. Markakis won't get there. This splits the outfielders. Cozart scores. Votto's being waved around. Bruce is going for a second triple, and he's in there standing up. And I think we've got some Reds fans in attendance yelling Bruce.
Well, at least you know that one guy that was sitting with his wife is probably doing that right now. But what a night so far now for Jay Bruce. His second triple, like you mentioned. He gets a pitch up and he drills it right in the gap, and he knew right away as soon as he hit that ball. It's a double off the bat, but good base runners and good hitters are always thinking a base ahead. And between first and second base, he realized that he was going to have a triple and never slowed down.
Second triple of the night, second triple this season, his first ever multi-triple game of his career. And I say multi because he's got more at bats coming. It's 4-0 Cincinnati, and Phillips at the plate. Laces one foul into the seats.
Well, as much as you and I were talking about the weak contact against Eric Stoltz for most of this game, as we get through the third time now for him to go through the order, that has changed. And we're seeing much more significant contact and guys feeling very comfortable and taking some healthy swings in the box.
Missing inside, 1-1, but still without a doubt the 2 hardest hit balls of the night have come off the bat of Jay Bruce.
And encouraging news for him as he struggled coming into this game, hitting just 173.
Inside now, 2-1 to Brandon Phillips. I'm going to venture to say you can't guess who the last Red was to have 2 triples in one game.
Is it? All right, I love that. I need the hint game. Obvious or just kind of an out of the blue kind of person?
Out of the blue.
All right, out of the blue. So
Phillips.
Not Deion
skies
Sanders.
one. Nope.
I got time to think about it.
You do. Simmons has time for this one to come down. He makes the catch to end the inning, but Jay Bruce, another big hit, a 2-run triple, and the Reds now lead 4-0. In this game, as the Reds now lead 4-0, bottom half of the 5th. Andrelton Simmons, Jace Peterson, Cameron Maybin. We left you hanging. It was a cliffhanger.
Ron Oster is my guess.
Simmons off the glove of Marquis. Phillips can't barehand it, and that'll be an infield single for Andrelton Simmons. And that is the first hit of the night for the Braves.
And just 24 seconds ago, I tweeted out that Jason Marquis had a no-hitter going here in Atlanta, and he'll tell you that he should probably still have a no-hitter going. As this ball bounces out of his glove, and I don't want to say tailor-made, but those are plays that most pitchers will tell you that they should probably make. And as good as Brandon Phillips is, no chance he's making that one.
So he had a no-hitter through 4, and Simmons with the infield single. And Jace Peterson takes the first pitch down low for a ball. All right, so here's my clue for you. The last player for the Reds to have 2 triples in one game. He has a brother who is currently playing in the big leagues, and they have the same initials.
Wait a minute, a brother. Oh, so this is way more recent. Oh, look at you guys all smiling over there because you know the answer. I have absolutely no idea. All right, his brother currently plays in the big leagues, so this guy is no longer playing in the major leagues.
Correct.
What was your second hint?
They have the same initials.
Oh, same initials.
Should I give the initials too? I think you'll get it if I give the initials.
Who has a brother playing in the big leagues?
Okay, his brother, ground ball foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. They were both first-round picks. His brother was a #1 overall pick. Of the Rays. At that point, it was the Devil Rays.
Technically, he's not playing, but he is playing.
No.
They're both playing.
No, just one is playing.
Whoa.
Yeah. The brother is still playing.
What's wrong with me?
It's not that easy. Peterson out in front, hooking one towards the foul pole, and that is foul. DY.
Dimitri Young?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Dimitri Young has 2 triples in a game?
In a game. September 28th, 2000.
Wow. I would not have gotten that. And Dimitri Young, now a scout. Just finished scout school. Super nice guy.
Peterson goes down looking. That's the 3rd strikeout for Marquis.
And go take a look at him on Facebook. You remember how big he used to be? That's a nice looking front door 2-seamer right there from Jason Marquis. We call that front door because he started it right at Simmons' hip, and that ball just came back. Excuse me, Peterson's hip, and came right back and caught the inside corner. Nice looking pitch. Not easy to do. Greg Maddux made that pitch famous.
Oh yeah. One away now for Cameron Maybin, who walked his first time up. Low and outside, 1-0.
But to finish on Dimitri Young real quick, who has now entered the scouting world, which you don't see a lot of former players necessarily, ones that have had the success that he's had, want to go in and do. But look him up on Facebook. This guy has lost a ton of weight. He looks great.
His nickname was the Meat Hook.
Yeah, he no longer.
Fouled away, 1-1. I broadcasted for the Tigers AA affiliate in Erie, Pennsylvania, and they talked about Dimitri Young when he would go down on a minor league rehab assignment, how he just took care of everybody in that clubhouse, and they all just said what a great guy he was.
Very likable.
Down low, 2 balls and a strike here to Maybin. Stoltz in the on deck circle. Beautiful night for baseball here in Atlanta. Maybin to deep left. Bird looks up, gone. The 4th home run of the year for Cameron Maybin, and he cuts the deficit in half.
We saw Jace Peterson get out in front of a pitch and hit a foul home run, and now here for Cameron Maybin, gets a pitch in the middle of the plate. It's 2-1. Marquis wants to throw a strike. He tried to throw that backdoor sinker, similar to what we saw in the strikeout to Peterson, but he misses over the plate, and that is the danger in that pitch because it comes right back to the middle. Becomes very hittable if you miss your spot.
1 ball, no strikes. Now to Eric Stoltz. Of the 8 hits this year for Cameron Maybin, 4 of them have been home runs. Outside now, 2-1 to Stoltz.
And if you want to have that conversation that has been coming up around baseball, it was kind of spurred by Adam Wainwright and Max Scherzer and the comments he made on whether or not we should go to the universal DH. What a difference it makes after letting up the home run and having to face a pitcher.
Ground ball out to second. Time now for a game break. Let's go out to L.A. Here's Kevin Burkhardt. Wow. All right. Thanks, KB.
Kevin Burkhardt making good use of his time. A lot of downtime there on pregame days. I've been there, sat in that studio for 7-8 hours.
Well, you still haven't given me your 4th for the Braves.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? I just didn't give you my 4th.
Okay, which means you didn't give me your 4th.
Hank Aaron. I said Hank Aaron.
Okay.
We said Eddie Matthews. We said Warren Spahn. And I know I should probably put Chipper Jones in that conversation, former teammate of mine.
2 balls and a strike to Markakis.
It's tough and hate. I know a lot of Braves fans, they love Dale Murphy, as they should, but unfortunately the career numbers probably don't get him there.
Yeah, I don't put Murphy in there. I think it's I think it's between Chipper and then Smoltz or Glavine. And you may go towards Glavine because his entire career actually left to go to the Mets late in the year. Yeah, so
and Smoltz killed us with this, trying to extend his career, and he goes and plays for the Red Sox and then the Cardinals.
I forgot about Glavine going to the Mets. That's crazy. The backdoor slider is in there against Markakis, and that'll do it here in the 5th. But a 2-run shot by Maben. It's now 4-2 Reds. Top of the 6th here at Turner Field. Justin Kutcher alongside C.J. Nitkowski. 4-2 Reds on top of the Braves. Marlon Byrd leading off against Eric Stoltz. And the first pitch misses outside for ball 1. We were just talking as we went to break about the Braves 4. And I think I've come to a conclusion on who my 4th would be. But you were mentioning John Smoltz and what he was trying to convince you of. What was that?
Well, just one of the things.
Byrd in the air to right center field. Hit well. Markakis and Maben back. And that's gone. Hold that thought. Marlon Byrd with his 3rd home run of the year. And the Reds now lead 5-2.
Well, we talked about the Marlon Byrd walks, right? 3 in his last 8 plate appearances. Hadn't walked all year. And now we see him now having a 2-for-2 night. Just seeing the ball better and getting good swings against lefties. This is the kind of night that really can start to turn your season around. It's a pitch that sat over the middle that Eric Stoltz definitely wanted to be down a little further. That is a big home run in this ballpark. I know it barely got out of here, but the opposite field, to do that at Turner Field is no easy task.
No doubt about it. A good night thus far for Byrd, and that great catch out there in left field to rob Przinski of a hit. Breaking ball lined to first base. Nice play by Freeman. 1 away.
Yeah, so to finish up on Smoltz, my one thing, and I give him a hard time about this, and I play with John, and our kids go to school together, and he works here at Fox and does a great job for us when he calls games. But if he didn't play that last year, he didn't have to do it. I know he wanted to get that last one out of you, but if he didn't and retired when he did, he would have went into the Hall of Fame with Bobby Cox, with Greg Maddux, and Tom Glavine all at the same time. That would have been pretty awesome. Instead, he goes a year later.
Marquis in the air to left center. There's Maben. 2 away.
I'll tell you one of the great things about social media and technology today is that I can tweet out Jason Marquis is a no-hitter. I get yelled at about it. We can talk about the franchise 4, and I can tell everybody's telling me how I'm missing out and what about Necro and why I'm wrong, which is also nice. It's a wonderful, wonderful medium. People telling you everything that you're doing. There was a bunch of Dimitri Young tweets that I did not see during while we were having that conversation.
But there's no tweets saying great job.
No,
right?
there's one or two, but not on. They're definitely the scales are tipped in the opposite favor that I'd want them to be.
Billy Hamilton takes the first pitch for a ball with 2 outs here in the 6th. And after we had that conversation going to break, and I had that brain lapse, Hamilton to center field, coming in as Maben to make the catch. My pick for number 4 for Atlanta is Chipper Jones. Spent his whole career with the Braves. We'll talk about the Reds when we come back. It's 5-2 Cincinnati. No selfies allowed here at Turner Field.
At least no selfie sticks. If you're going to do it, you better have long arms.
Bottom half of the 6th, 5-2. Reds on top of the Braves. Alberto Callaspo, Freddie Freeman, A.J. Pierzynski here to face Jason Marquis. Ground ball, first base, fair ball. Votto makes the play to Marquis, covering. Nicely done. 1 away. All right, so we've talked about the Braves franchise 4. How about the Reds franchise 4? And the majority of them are coming from the Big Red Machine, right?
Sure. Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan. Frank Robinson, you're pointing out, Pete Rose.
I go Pete Rose. I go those 3 to me are the no-brainers.
Yep. And now we have, man. It's a tough one. I love Barry Larkin. I played with Barry Larkin as my first shortstop in the big leagues. This is where I would stink at this because emotion starts to get involved in people that you like. But yeah, Pete Rose, Johnny Bench.
What's unfortunate is that Frank Robinson is one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
He's split between Baltimore and Cincinnati as Freeman skies one to left for Marlon Byrd, 2 away.
Yeah, I think that absolutely hurts you when you're talking about a franchise forward,
right,
looking for the identity of an organization. And of course, we make it 4. It's the kind of the Mount Rushmore of your organization, and that does probably hurt. Frank
Robinson. You're going to go.
I got to go Larkin.
You're going Larkin.
Yeah.
That's completely fair. I think it's between probably Larkin and Perez. Again, Johnny Bench, no-brainer.
Yep.
Pierzynski lines one to right. Bruce comes in, slides to make the catch. And that's twice now that Pierzynski's been robbed of a base hit, and he's got a 13-game hitting streak. A 4-pitch inning and a nice catch by Bruce to end it. Turner Field, 5-2. Reds lead the Braves. Zach Cozart takes the first pitch in their first strike from Eric Stoltz.
You see Stoltz at 97 pitches. I think this is probably going to be his last inning. There's some action in the Braves bullpen.
And that slow curveball gets hit for a base hit to left field. Cozart with his second hit of the game. And going back to the franchise fours, look at the pitches by inning for Eric Stoltz, now at 98. I think I'm in agreement with you, and I'll go with Barry Larkin for the fourth member of the Reds franchise four.
Yeah, I tell you what, people love having these conversations and going back and forth, and some people that were listening wondering, how come Bobby Cox is not on the list for the Braves? Can you go there? Can you go a manager and general manager and a guy who really had a huge influence on this organization during that run?
The appeal to third base, and David Rackley says he did not go for Joey Votto. And Votto's saying, no, I didn't go. No need for the appeal. I didn't go. Singleton scored his last time up. A throw over to first. Ground ball first base. Freeman gets the lead runner back. And a 3-6-3 double play turned easily by Freeman and Simmons.
And this is a much tougher throw, I think, than people realize, especially for Freddie Freeman as a right-handed throwing first baseman, because you have to turn your body all the way around, but you're also trying to create a lane so that you don't hit the runner. He makes a perfect throw. And not even close. Joey Votto looked like he just kind of got a slow jump. I don't know what he was watching there. He wasn't going to beat this out either way. He almost looked at that as like he expected either Freddie Freeman to miss it or maybe to step on the back.
Frazier deep to left field, and there's a home run again. All he does is hit home runs. The last 4 hits for Todd Frazier are all home runs.
And that's a discouraging one for Eric Stoltz, because he allows the leadoff single to Cozart, and then the double play, and you're thinking, nobody on 2 outs, let me finish this inning, give my team a chance. It was a slow breaking ball that just hung in there, and Frazier does a great job of staying back and being able to put a full strong swing on it, and he absolutely crushes that one.
8th home run of the year for Frazier. 6-2. Reds on top, and now Bruce will finally be retired as he grounds out to second to end the 7th. It's stretch time here in Atlanta. 6-2, Reds leading. The 7th, they've got the tomahawk chop going here at Turner Field, trying to get these Braves bats going as they trail now 6-2. Kelly Johnson, Andrelton Simmons, and Jace Peterson against Marquee. Down the left field line, foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. Todd Frazier hit his 8th home run to tie Adrian Gonzalez of the Dodgers for the lead in the National League, and his teammate Joey Votto one behind. 2 balls and a strike.
And for a guy like Frazier, who comes into this game hitting .226, there is some solace in the fact that you were contributing with the long ball, and he's done a really good job. Yes, he wants to be hitting better, contributing more hits, but certainly that helps.
Johnson able to go against the shift and get the base hit. A leadoff single for him.
This becomes so frustrating as a pitcher, and again, it doesn't make a ton of sense for me. I get the shifts. There are times where I absolutely love it, but when you have a right-handed pitcher and a left-handed hitter, and you're going to work him away and throw him a sinker, there's a good chance he's going to hit you a routine ground ball to the left side if you execute well, and that is exactly what happened, and nobody was there.
You say it's frustrating. It's become one of my favorite things in baseball to see a player beat the shift by going the other way. Simmons slides one down the right field line inside. It is a fair ball. Johnson being waved home. Simmons, he's going to hold up at second, an RBI double.
What a great job of hitting by Andrelton Simmons. This is a backdoor two-seamer, ends up catching the middle of the plate, but he doesn't try to do too much with it. If he tries to pull this ball, he probably rolls over it and hits another one of those ground balls. We've seen so many, 11 of them tonight from the Atlanta Braves, but instead he tries to go the other way, stays on it, hits that line drive, and barely fair, but gets it just inside the line for an RBI double.
The 6th double of the year for Simmons. Jace Peterson 0 for 2 steps in. And he takes the first pitch down low. Jason Marquis in his last start, which was Monday against Milwaukee, went 8 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs. Ground ball, and that hits the runner Simmons. How often do you see that?
Rarely, if ever. I don't know if we see that once a season. Hitting an umpire, yes. Hitting an opposing or your own runner, you do not see that at all. And this ball was hit so hard by Peterson that Simmons just could not get out of the way. And he kind of got caught in between. And you can see the frustration. I'm not sure what he's thinking, because right here he could jump, but for some reason his feet got stuck. I don't know if he's going to let that ball maybe go in between his legs, but he had enough time to try to jump over that ball, and it actually goes down as a base hit for Jace Peterson.
Well, that'll be the final batter that Jason Marquis will face tonight. It goes as a single, 6 unassisted. Guess what? It happens once a season. It happened on the final out in the game that preceded our game.
Come on. So that's happened twice already? It's only May 2nd?
It's bizarro worlds. And Jumbo Diaz is coming in from the bullpen for Cincinnati, and that might not be a good thing for the Reds, as their bullpen has been struggling. Runner on first. Jason Marquis' night is done. Jumbo Diaz is the new pitcher. Diaz 1-0 with a 9.72 ERA in 9 games. And the first batter he faces is Cameron Maybin, who homered his last at bat. The Reds bullpen, minus Aroldis Chapman, has struggled mightily in the early going this season.
Yeah, and this has been an obvious problem for this team. And for Jumbo Diaz, a lot better last year. Has gotten off to a little bit of a slow start. You saw that first fastball, 97 miles an hour. This guy brings the heat. One of the harder throwing relievers in baseball, but he has been making a lot of mistakes. Brian Price has told us over the middle of the plate, and guys have been scoring out pretty good.
2 balls and no strikes to Maybin. A 6-3 ball game. Marquis won 6 in the third. On deck is Phil Gosselin to hit in place of Eric Stoltz. Three balls and no strikes.
I actually played with this guy in winter ball before he got into the big leagues. This is in the winter of 2012, after the 2012 season in the Dominican. And what an awesome, fun teammate. I love always telling the story. He would bring in homemade empanadas that his mom would make, and he would sell them to the other players on the team, and they would sell out every single time. She couldn't make enough.
3-0, and Maybin was taken all the way, so 3-1.
The Toros del Este. We were playing in the Dominican Winter League. What a fun experience that was. Hopefully I didn't botch that name. Please don't give me a hard time if I did on Twitter.
On the inside corner, strike 2, now 3-2. Peterson on at first. The payoff pitch. And Maybin goes down swinging. A good job by Jumbo Diaz to battle back from down 3-0 to get the strikeout.
And this is just filthy. At 98 miles an hour, he rears back a little bit and actually gets some cut on that ball, down and away. And I don't know too many right-handed hitters that are going to make any kind of contact with that. Certainly Cameron Maybin could not. And a good first batter here for Jumbo Diaz as he tries to get things turned around, because if this team wants to contend, obviously the bullpen has to be a lot better, but they're going to rely heavily on the right arm of Diaz.
Phil Gosselin now pinch hitting for Eric Stoltz with 2 outs here, bottom of the 7th. And Gosselin, a pinch hit single to right field, will bring the tying run to the plate.
The one thing you always know about pinch hitters is that they are looking for something early, a first pitch fastball. They're going to jump on it, and that's exactly what Gosselin did right here. You do not want to get behind in the count when you're coming off the bench. You're not in the flow of the game. You know Diaz throws a lot of fastballs. As hard as they are, about 65% of the time he's going to throw that fastball. And Gosselin does not let it get by.
With the lefty Markakis coming up, representing the tying run. Brian Price coming out to make a double switch. It looks like Brennan Bosch will come in to replace Jay Bruce, who made the final out of the 7th inning. And the lefty, Tony Cingrani, will be the new pitcher. Bottom of the 7th, tying run coming up, and a pitching change here for Cincinnati. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with AYSO, the world's largest soccer club. Go to ayso.org/play to find your region and sign up for your fall team today. The new pitcher is a left-hander, Tony Cingrani. 6 games, 7 1/3 innings, 2.45 ERA. The lefty to face the lefty, Markakis. And the first pitch is in there, first strike.
Chris Cingrani, now a former starter, or at least for this year, now will be in the bullpen and trying to figure out and looking for some consistency. The issue with him has been walks. He's done a pretty good job against the lefties that he's faced this year, batting just .200 against him in 10 plate appearances, but does have 2 walks as well.
Quickly ahead of the count, 0-2 to Markakis, who's 0 for 3 with 2 groundouts to second and a strikeout looking in his last at bat. Good numbers against both lefties and righties. The 0-2. Foul tip, stays alive, fouls it off of Pena's mask. As far as the double switch is concerned, so we take a look at this replay.
Cingrani caught a break right there as that 0-2 pitch ended up going right down the middle. Pena, on the other hand, did not catch a break. Foul tip went right to his mask.
Brennan Bosch will hit in the pitcher's spot, and the pitcher will hit in the 5-hole where Jay Bruce had occupied. That's tough for Jay Bruce. A couple of triples, run scored, a couple of RBIs, and because of the double switch, he gets taken out.
Again, another case
but
for the DH in the National League.
I still like it the way it is. I don't want to see a DH in the National League. Up high, 1-2. Stop making excuses.
Listen, there's arguments to be made.
I understand the arguments, but what I mean is offense is down, right?
Yep. It's a big one. But how about competitive balance? How about the ability to be able to compete for guys that need DH at bats, a la Nelson Cruz? What National League team is going to sign Nelson Cruz this offseason?
The 1-2. Got him swinging. Cingrani comes in, does the job, gets the lefty out. We have played 7 here in Atlanta, 6-3. Reds leading. For the 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot for the 2015 All-Star Game. Vote at MLB.com/vote. Catch all of the excitement of the 86th Major League Baseball All-Star Game, July 14th, live on Fox from Cincinnati.
What are those things? I've never seen those before. That guy looks like he's having a good time.
The new pitcher into the game here for the Braves is the right-hander Michael Kahn. Has appeared in 3 games, 2 1/3 innings, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and he'll face Brandon Phillips leading off here in the 8th. And that's just a bit outside.
We appreciate the free plug at our website, justabitoutside.com. Thank you. I appreciate that. Or jabo.com if you just want to use the acronym, or you can read all the writings of me, Ken Rosenthal, John Paul Morosi, and of course Rob Nyer. Thank you.
Anything to help out my friends. And by the way, going back to the whole discussion about, you know, the DH and the National League and, you know, all that kind of stuff. My question, and didn't have a chance to go back and look at this, but I wonder what the breakdown is of World Series champions since the DH was implemented.
I do not have that number off the top of my head, but no, you make a good point. But I think in today's game, things have changed, and there's a lot of things that change. And another one that has changed for me is that how early a lot of these pitchers become pitchers only, and they stop working on hitting. I will tell you that as a sophomore in high school, I was done. I put the bat down, and they made me a pitcher only. So you're asking guys that have not worked on a skill set to all of a sudden now get to the major league level and try to train to be hitters, at least decent hitters, to try to contribute in some way.
Pop up to first. Freeman's there, 1 away.
Well, that part of the specialization, I think, is something that needs to be considered. But I just go back to, I just don't know if it's fair. And I understand National League teams play each other predominantly, and so it doesn't matter. Maybe competitive balance isn't a real thing when it comes to the DH. But I look at a guy like Brian McCann, who played here for the Atlanta Braves for as long as he did. When he became a free agent, he signs a 5-year deal for $85 million to go to the Yankees. They know he's going to need some DH at bats over the course of that contract, specifically toward the end. They may need a lot of DH at bats. San Diego Padres can't offer him that, so they have to be out on Brian McCann. They can't get in with other American League teams, and so even their pool of players to choose from to try to field their team gets slightly diminished because they don't have the DH.
And conversely, as Marlon Byrd digs in, takes the first pitch fastball, first strike, I don't know if it's really a bad thing, because those guys who become the DH or need those at bats DH, you don't give yourself the versatility that you'd want on a team. And so I see the other side of it as a pop up in the outfield. There's Simmons for the second out. I think one thing that's so great about baseball, and I almost feel like interleague play has ruined this in a sense, is that when it came time for the World Series, it was 2 different leagues, different teams that had never played against each other, getting a chance to square off against each other. And now it's become more like any other league, whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball, football, hockey. They've all played against each other.
I agree 100%. As a kid growing up in New York and as a Yankee fan, you dreamed of Yankee-Mets matchups.
Yeah.
But it was never going to happen. Well, now it happens 6 times a year, and they've met, over 100 times now. And so, that is lost a little bit, but at the same time, that series is still pretty fun for fans in the New York area.
Fly ball to left field. A quick 1-2-3 inning work by Michael Kahn. We go to the bottom of the 8th here in Atlanta. 6-3 Cincinnati. the official vehicle of Major League Baseball. Alberto Callaspo, Freddie Freeman, A.J. Pierzynski to bat here in the 8th for the Braves, trailing by 3. The tomahawk chop. When I see that, when I hear that, I think about those teams of Glavine, Smoltz. You know, when it first started coming around in 1991.
And you think about the crowds that were here and the run that they went on, the electricity in this ballpark, and it was loud and it irritated every opponent.
In their first strike, 1 ball, 1 strike to Callaspo. The run that this franchise had in the 90s to 2000s, truly remarkable.
Got to sneak in for one. Oh, we didn't get it. We stopped at 2003.
There you go. Happy?
I was a cheater. I was only there for half a year. Got to spend half a year here and then half a year in New York with the Yankees. I thought for sure they're going to meet in the World Series and I'm getting a full share no matter what. Didn't happen.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Did not happen.
No, that was not a good year.
Gabe Kapler still has my World Series ring.
Foul tipped into Pena's mitt. 1 away here in the 8th.
Cingrani has looked really sharp coming in and striking out the first 2 batters that he's faced and doing it on fastballs. He doesn't throw particularly hard necessarily when we think about a lot of the velocities that we see. He sits around 92 miles an hour, but you can tell by the way that that fastball looks to some guys that he's able to get it by them. And now for Brian Price, he would absolutely love if Cingrani can finish this inning within these next 3 batters, lefties Freeman, Pierzynski, and Johnson, and then turn it over to his closer.
And the first pitch off speed pitch misses to Freeman inside for ball 1. You talk about finishing off this 8th inning because of Freeman lefty, Pierzynski lefty. You've got your stud in the bullpen in Chapman, who's a lefty, but a real reason why you want to see him finish this inning off, and already Chapman warming up in the bullpen, is because of the bullpen struggles for Cincinnati this year. Up and in. Whoa. Freeman was leaning in and had to back out.
Freddie Freeman starts to lean, and I told you how he is so good on pitches away. He's really good lefty on lefty, fastballs down and away. You have to lean a little bit to be able to do that, and he got caught leaning as that one got away from Cingrani.
And he chases a fastball up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is what the Reds have done. Look at this. An 8th inning with the lead.
That's an unbelievable ERA to see, and I know it's early and we're not talking about a lot of innings.
2-2, and that's 3 in a row retired via the strikeout by Tony Cingrani.
And that's the hardest fastball that we have seen from him. But even earlier in the at-bat, we saw a 91-mile-an-hour fastball that got by Freddie Freeman, and he did not throw that fastball up and in on purpose. It was an accident, but it had great effect. Is all that does now is slow Freddie Freeman down just a little bit, makes him a little bit more uncomfortable. And Tony Cingrani is able to get 3 fastballs by Freddie Freeman. You don't see that too often.
A.J. Pierzynski fouls the first pitch off, riding a 13-game hitting streak. He's hit safely in every game he's played this year. Until now, 0 for 3. A ground out to second, robbed of a base hit by Marlon Byrd in left field, robbed of a base hit by Jay Bruce in right field.
I think DiMaggio's getting nervous.
And now he's behind in the count, 0-2. He's got the longest current hitting streak in the National League. But it might end. The 0-2. Fouled away. Bo Porter at third base. Thought about making that catch barehanded.
Got to know better than that, Bo. There's nothing to be gained by catching that ball. A nice little round of applause, but that goes away. But the pain that comes with that in your bare hands is not worth it.
Another 0-2. Breaking ball, ground ball to second. Phillips makes the play. And Tony Cingrani retires all 4 batters that he faced. We go to the 9th here in Atlanta. 6-3 Cincinnati. As mixed Discaroo and New York City FC take on Clint Dempsey and the Seattle Sounders at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1, sponsored by Audi. Top of the ninth here in Atlanta. 6-3 Reds on top of the Braves. And we have a new pitcher in for Atlanta. It is the left-hander Donnie Veal, who has appeared in just one game so far. 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run. That 1 run was a home run. And he will face Brennan Bosch in Bosch's first at-bat as he came in as part of that double switch. And the first pitch breaking ball is in the dirt.
And Veal's got a good live fastball. You see that about 93 miles an hour on average. You see him use that curveball as well, and also a change. But lefty-lefty, it's going to be mostly fastball, curveball from Donnie Veal.
Good fastball, 92 on the corner, 1-1. 6 runs, 11 hits, no errors for Cincinnati. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Atlanta. Jay Bruce had himself a nice ball game.
He's probably bragging about his triples right there to Todd Frazier.
Frazier's going, yeah, did you see the bomb I hit?
Anybody can do that. They've both done that. But if you ever hit 2 triples in one game, I doubt it.
I tell you, Todd Frazier was part of, I thought, a really cool moment last year with the All-Star game as he took a picture with Derek Jeter, and they showed a picture of him from Little League on the field at Yankee Stadium with Derek Jeter.
I remember it well. That was pretty awesome. I don't know if Jeter loved it as much because just reminded him exactly how old he was, but no, it was really, really cool. What a great moment for him.
I've always wondered at what moment in a professional athlete's life do they feel like they've gotten old, or that someone comes up to them and says, I wear this number because of you.
Well, I can tell you that has never happened to me. So that part of it I don't know, but I'll get ones that I'll get some tweets from people once in a while. You know, I was one of the first players on the internet in the mid 90s, and I'll get one. This guy will send, he'll look like a average age adult and be like, CJ Nitkowski answered my email when I was 7 years old. I'm like, wait a minute, and I'm looking at this guy and I'm doing the math, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not that young anymore. So,
or you're thinking, man, he did not age well.
You get reminded in all kinds of different ways.
Billy Hamilton at the plate, 0 for 4. First pitch swinging, fouls it back, 0-1.
And we talked about Billy Hamilton and being a leadoff hitter and wondering if he can get there, and Brian Price giving him his time. But this is now his 5th plate appearance. Through his first 4 plate appearances, he saw a total of 8 pitches, and he comes out swinging at first pitch there. And I get it sometimes wanting to jump on one early. But as a leadoff hitter, you'd like to see him work the count a little bit more, get deeper in counts, and set things up for the next group of pitchers. Excuse me, next group of hitters coming behind him.
Tried to bunt for a base hit there, now 0-2.
And how many times have you seen a hitter, even if he makes an out, go back and have that conversation as he's passing a hitter? You know, what did you see? Well, I only saw 1 pitch. I don't have a lot to tell you. I can't tell you how the fastball or the breaking ball looks today because I didn't get a chance to see it because I was so aggressive so early in the count.
No balls, 2 strikes here to Hamilton with Bosch on at first base. Pulled foul, stays 0-2. You know, you think about the greatest leadoff hitter of all time in Ricky Henderson and what he would do at the plate. He would see pitches, work walks, hit for power, and then once he was on the bases, I mean, there's never been a scarier guy for a pitcher to see over there at first base than Ricky Henderson.
Absolutely. And like you said, not just because he could run, but when you're facing him, because he had power as well, and just all facets of the game. An absolute headache for an opposing pitcher.
Bosch takes off, and Hamilton fights it off. If I'm not mistaken, I believe yesterday was the anniversary of Ricky Henderson getting to say, today I am the greatest of all time.
It's the greatest speech ever. I mean, absolutely loved it. Talking about how great Lou Brock was, but today I am the greatest. Ricky Henderson was fantastic.
One of my 3 all-time favorite players.
Really?
Yep.
Well, you know we want to hear the other 2.
Another 0-2 pitch first. How about that? Or a look over to first, and Bosch is back in standing up. Don Mattingly.
Nice. He was mine as a kid.
And a guy who Played for the Cincinnati Reds, but he became my favorite when he was with the Seattle Mariners. King Griffey Jr.
Yeah, it was a good one. And you know, I was a Yankee, like I said earlier, Yankee fan growing up, and an absolute thrill to be able to face Rickey Henderson. Got to face him one time, which was pretty cool.
What do you do?
Remember, I know I got him out. I just don't remember what way. It wasn't a strikeout. He hit the ball somewhere. Just happy that he wasn't on base.
And that's the amazing thing. I mean, he played for the Mets late in his career, and he still stole a bunch of bases.
He seemed like he was one of those guys that could play forever, similar to Julio Franco, who I played with here, ironically enough, with the Braves, who was still probably in better shape than most major leaguers.
A long wait by Veal. 0-2. Hamilton goes down and chases it, strikes out. Down to second base goes Bosch on the wild pitch. Hamilton unable to go to first as first base was technically occupied.
Wasn't for lack of effort, though. Billy Hamilton started running down to first base, and sometimes you can catch a more inexperienced catcher off guard, or a young guy panics a little bit and throws that ball, and maybe you cause some chaos. But as you said, Billy Hamilton cannot advance on that ball because the base was occupied.
You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Visit MLB.TV for details. Don't forget about those widgets. Zach Cozart has singled in his last 2 at-bats. Ground ball foul, third base side, 1-1. Well, the Reds took the opener of this series 5-1 on Thursday. Atlanta won last night 4-3. Cincinnati trying to make it 2 of the first 3, and then tomorrow the finale. Johnny Cueto against Julio Teheran. Low and inside. 2-1.
And you can see some inconsistency from Veal on the release point as he's missing, trying to throw fastballs away and cutting them down and in. And the other thing I thought was interesting is I was watching Cozart come up, and you know, he's just under 100 plate appearances for the year, but the fact that batting average is still sitting around 300, I mean, this is something that he has not done. This is a career 245 hitter and a guy who's given you very good defense over his years in Cincinnati. But if they can get anything close to this.
Bosch takes off, and so does this ball off the bat of Cozart, and that's gone. The 5th home run of the year for Zach Cozart.
And it really is amazing to see the power. And I know he's done it before, a career high 15 home runs for him back in 2012. But last year was just such an off year. He only had 4 the entire year. And that was in almost 550 plate appearances. And already, as you said, his 5th on the season. And he jumps on this fastball from Veal right down the middle. Puts a great swing on it. You talked about Bosch taking off. He actually was around third and went all the way back to second base to potentially tag because he wasn't sure if that ball might have been caught at the track. It was close.
3rd home run tonight for Cincinnati. Todd Frazier has 1. Marlon Byrd has 1. They had 4 in the victory on Thursday. Votto fouls it back, 1-1. Votto 1 for 4, a single, a run scored, a couple of ground outs and a strikeout. Big swing and a miss, 1-2. You know, we talked about it before in the first couple of innings about this Reds offense and how it has struggled with batting average, but how many of their runs come via the home run? Entering tonight, 53% of their runs had come via the home run. Ground ball right side. Peterson Easy play, 2 outs.
And of course, there's nothing wrong with hitting home runs. It's certainly a nice thing to have, but they came in with an on-base percentage as a team under 300. And so what you don't want to do is fall into that trap where you become a team or have a lineup that can't get on base, but is hitting a lot of home runs. And that can be an issue even for the Braves. We talked about that a little bit with Freddie Gonzalez before the game, about saying you're playing for the long ball all the time. It's not a fun way to manage baseball games. And so you want that combination of power, but you also want to be able to get on base a little bit more frequently.
Well, 4 of the 8 runs for Cincinnati have come via the home run here tonight. One of those 4 runs came from Todd Frazier's bat. His now tied for the league leading 8th home run with Adrian Gonzalez. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
We see Donnieville again missing a spot really badly right there. He's trying to throw that fastball down and away and cuts it and misses in off the plate. And here's a 30-year-old lefty looking for an opportunity with the Braves. He's now pitching an inning and 2/3 and has allowed 2 home runs in Braves uniform.
Frazier in the air, center field. Cameron Maybin is there, and that'll do it. Well, we mentioned Todd Frazier with a picture with Jeter. There you have it, right there. How cool is that?
Look how young Jeter looks there.
8-3 as we go to the bottom of the 9th here in Atlanta. Regional networks for the final game of this series. Coverage starts on Fox Sports Ohio and Fox Sports South at 1 p.m. Eastern. Cueto against Tehran. That's a good finale.
It's going to be a good one. Johnny Cueto is having a terrific season. And one thing we haven't talked about yet was the fact that Homer Bailey, with his injury now and the contract that he signed, and I'm wondering about, obviously the Reds probably going to end up regretting that, but what that means for Johnny Cueto and their ability to re-sign him.
Well, I can tell you what those 2 runs in the top of the 9th meant. It meant that we won't see Aroldis Chapman right now. We'll see instead Kevin Gregg. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Kelly Johnson.
And you wonder what Aroldis Chapman is thinking. Did he want the save? 3-run cushion is pretty nice. There he is. He got warmed up, right?
Yeah.
He thought he was coming in. He figured, if I'm warmed up, I want to come in. And that's one of the things that most people probably don't think about very often, is that you're down in the bullpen, the phone rings, they tell you to get ready, you get all the way ready, and then for one reason or another, whether it's a situation like this or something else happens in the game and you don't go in the game, those really can wear on you as a relief pitcher. It's really frustrating because your adrenaline gets up. It is a fun feeling that I do miss, which is when that phone rings. You're down there and you see what's going on in the game and you realize that it could potentially be you, and that phone rings really loud and your heart rate starts accelerating, then the bullpen coach says your name and then boom, it shoots right up, and next thing you know, you got to be ready to get in the game pretty quick.
Johnson chases that. He strikes out for the first out here in the ninth. How many pitches would it take you to get ready?
As I got older, I got better at it. Early on, when you first go into the bullpen as a starter, you would just sit there and throw. I would at least, and throw and throw and throw. You learn that you were never going to survive that way. So I would always play catch with the outfielders around the 6th or 7th inning, depending on what my role was. And then from there, I could probably get ready in 10 to 12.
Simmons has reached base all 3 times tonight. Walked back in the 2nd. Had the first hit of the game for the Braves, leading off the 5th, an infield single off the glove of Jason Marquis, and then doubled down the right field line in the 7th to score a run. And he's behind in the count, 0-2.
And this would be a really nice win for the Cincinnati Reds, the way that they played, the way that they've pitched, the job that the bullpen has done. You want to get that turned around and get this team back on track. Makes life a lot easier, a lot less gray hairs for Brian Price as you think about, for him, his roster, going back at night and going over the games and saying, could I have done things better? When you know you can get consistent performance out of your bullpen, makes your job a lot easier as a manager.
Todd Frazier had a home run. One of 3 players did a home run for the Reds here on this night. In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. By the way, our fantastic statistician Mike Notaro did some research. Ricky Henderson was 0 for 1 against you, but he reached on an error by Carl Everett.
Oh, really? Carl Everett. So that must have happened in 1998. Houston.
Down low now, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I'm trying to think, did I play with Carl Everett again? Oh, no, maybe in Texas. Carl Everett and I played together twice, both with the Astros and for the Rangers, so that could have happened in 2002.
It was 2002.
Did he steal a base? That was pretty easy to steal off.
And Simmons works the walk. The fans that remain here at Turner Fields get it behind their team, hoping for a comeback here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. 8-3, Reds lead the Braves. Chase Peterson, infield single his last time up. That was when it hit the foot of Andrelton Simmons. And the first pitch is in there for a strike.
It wasn't an ideal situation, obviously, because Simmons is now taken out of scoring position. But when you come into the game hitting .237, you'll take a base hit any way you can get it.
Outside, 1-1. This game had such a good pace, I never even thought about the Holman and Finch burger.
You blow it, dude.
I did. Those hamburgers here at Turner Fields are phenomenal.
Last year when you and I did a game here, you introduced me to those. My life has not been the same since, and I thought for sure we were getting another one while we were here.
And yet here we are in the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's 9:40, and now I'm starting to get hungry. Rolls one over. Votto, the backhand. Gregg covering, able to beat Peterson to the bag, and down to second goes Simmons, 2 away.
And a good job there by Joey Votto. You might be wondering, why didn't he take the out at second, or why don't they try to turn the double play? You have a 5-run lead in the 9th inning, and there's already 1 out. Go ahead and take that sure out. Him, just like Freddie Freeman, is also a right-handed fielding first baseman, so that's a little bit of a tougher turn and can be a tougher throw. And so he took the easy out at first base with Gregg covering.
The Braves are down to their final out. Cameron Maybin had the 2-run home run in the 5th. Just in case, Aroldis Chapman is staying loose out there in the bullpen. Slider, check swing. Maybin offered on it.
Well, you figure a home run here would make it a safe situation. And so maybe Brian Price is playing it safe, or even a couple of hits, and maybe he decides he'd want to make sure he has his closer ready.
And the dirt, halfway off was Simmons, and he thought, don't want to get thrown out at third base, down 8-3 to end the game.
No, That would not be the right time to do that. And going back to what I was saying before about warming up and not going in the game, Kevin Gregg finishes right here, or maybe he basically takes him 2 more hitters to finish out this game. That's twice now that Aroldis Chapman has gotten up and started throwing pretty close to, as we're watching, we have to see him on the screen here, pretty close to 100%. He's cranking it up pretty good. It's not an easy thing to do at all for a relief pitcher.
Especially for someone who throws 103 miles per hour.
Didn't know anything about that, but yeah. So good, this guy. He's one of the best. Him and Craig Kimbrel right in that conversation of just the best strikeout relievers that we have. And there's some good ones right now in Major League Baseball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The count here to Maben. Both teams entered tonight's game with a record of 11-12. 1-2 line, base hit, right center field. Simmons will come in to score. Another RBI for Maben. He's got 3 on the night, and it's 8-4.
This is a good at bat by Cameron Maben, who's having a very good night. It's a fastball down the middle. Came back over the plate a little bit, but every guy swinging the bat well. What we see is him not trying to do too much, not trying to pull that ball. And he's already got a home run tonight. A lot of times guys will get home run happy, but his swing did not there. Does a good job of hitting that that line drive to right field.
And now Eric Young Jr. will pinch hit in the pitcher spot. And the first pitch strike by Kevin Gregg. Fouled away, quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Phil Gosselin already pinch hit, got a single in the 7th. This team, pinch hitters, they're doing a heck of a job.
A fantastic job, and it is not an easy thing to do, to be on the bench, not be in the flow of the game.
Well, didn't do it that time, as Gregg gets Eric Young Jr. to strike out, looking to end this one. 8-4. The Reds take game 3 of this 4-game series. They even their record now at 12-12, while the Braves fall to 11-13. Jason Marquis gets the win. He moves to 3-1. While Eric Stoltz suffers a loss. He falls to 1-2. And Jay Bruce had a couple of big hits for the Reds.
He sure did. I mean, double triples, we just don't see it very often, and not the kind of thing that we really expect from Jay Bruce, but he did an excellent job of running the bases, especially on the first one. But a really nice performance as well from the Cincinnati Reds bullpen, and one that was very much needed. This team has struggled mightily late in the game, especially when leading, and they were able to do it, able to lock it down without having to go to their closer Aroldis Chapman, and for Brian Price. Absolutely loving that opportunity that they provided tonight. A good win here for the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, this Reds team, they score their runs via the home run at 53%. Tonight they scored 50% of their runs via 3 home runs. They get the win 8-4 to take 2 of the first 3 games of this series. The finale is tomorrow. Cueto against Tehran at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The game took just 2 hours and 34 minutes. For CJ Nikowski and our entire crew, I'm Justin Kutcher saying so long from Atlanta. Let's get you back out to L.A. Kevin Burkhardt, Mark Sweeney, Eric Karros. Have fun, boys.